everyone. My name is Sean Dooley, and I am an ambassador at Virginia Western, and we are here to talk about the Disney College Program. And I will let Andrew go first with the introduction.
Great, thank you. As Sean said, my name is Andrew Robertson. I am also an ambassador at Virginia Western, and I will also clarify that we are talking about the Disney College Program today, and I will pass it on to our special guest.
Hi guys. Oh my God, I've never been announced as a special guest. This is exciting. My name is Elena De Paulovich. I'm a senior marketing major at Radford University. I'm the director of public relations for the student government and a Kobe business ambassador. I did my Disney College program May 2019 to January 1st, 2nd of this year. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah. Right. So just to give an overall layout of what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about the application process of our college program and the roles that we work during our program and some little things here and there about our process through the whole thing. So would you like to start like just explaining like what the program pretty much is and giving them that understanding of what Disney College Program is actually about,
Yeah. So I will preface with like all of this that's coming from me is like opinion based. It's not affiliated with the company whatsoever. And it's just sort of my journey. And everyone's journey is going to look different when applying for the college program. So definitely keep that in mind. The Disney College Program is a wonderful way to gain real life experience, to put on your resumes, to network with different types of individuals. It honestly stumbled over me. I was not looking for this internship. I was just on YouTube late at night researching different things, and it popped up, and I'm like, "Oh, you can work at Disney. This is a scam. There's no way that they recruit like this." And no, I applied at like 2 a.m. and that was an insane start to where I end up now. So it's basically a internship that gives you like experience being like basically like a frontline worker. We've heard that term a lot these past like 9-10 months. So you're working directly with the guests and you are creating magic basically.
Yeah. So with what she said, we were just going to talk about how she applied at 2 a.m. So we're going to talk about how we applied and then how we got into working with the company. So I guess we'll just start like basic application process. I like to think of it as just any other application process other than just telling you where in the country you are and like giving them more information on like why you think you'd be a fit for the company and things like that. We all have different job opportunities. Like we've all had different jobs experience. I worked at Chick-fil-A and I'm an ambassador, and then I worked at the fitness center. And I guess if you guys want to share like your previous jobs experience before you applied, if you want to do that.
Yeah. I again am also an ambassador. And before applying, I worked at Kroger, and then after applying, which I could have counted and can in the next ones, I worked at CVS Pharmacy.
There you go.
All right, we ready for this? I was a assistant yearbook advisor at Northside High School for a year. I worked at a daycare. I was a trainer at Sears before they tragically closed down. I was working at Victoria's Secret as a holiday supervisor. I've done a little bit of everything, basically. So yeah, wide range there.
There you go. So they always ask like during the job or the application interview, just what type of job experience you would have, why you want to do. I think they ask why you want to do the college program and it's just basic general information you would do when you would apply for pretty much any job. And I think you have to be at least taking one class the semester you're applying in order to be able to apply and get into this college internship. And is that correct? Right?
Mm-hmm.
One class? Yeah. And then they have like waves. So then if you make it past any type of wave during the process experience, then you go on to a web-based interview. And I'm always bad at describing this. What would you say it asks like questions about how you would work with others?
Yeah, it's basically just a questionnaire. A lot of questions are repeated to see if your answer stays consistent. So it doesn't look like you're just answering real quick because it is timed, which for some people can be nerve-wracking. But these questions you should answer on the spot because it truly will put to the test if this job is going to be right for you and if you're going to be right for this job.
Definitely. And yeah, it's a lot of repetitive questions. So, and they always time it so you're not like these are so most of these questions are like you shouldn't really have, it doesn't take more than like 5 or 10 seconds to be able to just answer it. So that's why they, time everything like that. And you usually get a response right after you take your web-based interview, and it'll tell you that you get a phone interview. You don't have to fly all the way out to Disney World or Disneyland to, be in person to have this interview. They just call you and set up an interview, and you talk to a cast member there. So then when you do the phone interview, every person's phone interview is different. You're gonna have a different cast member talking to you. You're gonna have different questions. They're gonna ask you. They're gonna have different roles that they're looking for and seeing if you fit with them. What would you like to describe how would you like to describe your phone interview, Elena?
My phone interview, so I had no knowledge of the Disney College program prior to applying. And then I applied at 2 a.m., like I said, and 10 minutes later, I got 2 emails. One saying, due to the mass amount of applications, it's going to take up to 2 weeks to be processed. And then I got another email 2 minutes later stating, congratulations, you've moved on to the web-based interview. And I could basically take it right there in the moment. And I was thinking, I have nothing to lose. Let me just take this real quick. And then literally 10, 15 minutes later, I was able to schedule a phone interview for the next week. In that moment, I thought, oh, this is getting real. Let me do some research about this company that I could potentially be working for. So I stayed up like all night, just kind of researching and whatnot. And okay, I definitely forgot the question you just asked me.
Oh, how
I was going on like a whole spiel.
how your phone and
my phone interview.
Phone interview went, yeah.
So after I did all the tips and tricks on Google that basically blurred out to me, they told me one constant was smile. They can see that. And I was like, how in God's name, earth, are you going to smile and they can see it? Well, they really can. It's your energy and it's the aura that you're presenting on the phone. And mine went super well. I was nervous. I watched other people's interviews that they actually recorded on YouTube, and I saw the ones that have gotten accepted and the ones that have gotten denied. And you have to like take a step back and think it's not personal if you don't get it. There are over like 30,000 applications every single year, and they have to be selective. And a lot of times you just get, cut off, and you're wondering, well, did I not use the right keywords? Am I not fit for this company? And I met a lot of people on the program that applied 5 or 6 times before they got in. But, when it's your time to go, it's going to be your time to go. But my phone interview, she asked just basic questions of how I would be in certain situations. And it was based more so on the customer base. Am I customer orientated? Like, what is driving me to want to work for one of the biggest employers in America, in the country, basically? And I would say a tip in there for the interview, remember their name at the beginning, because I swore that I forgotten her name at the end. I wanted to thank her and I didn't. I was like, okay, thank you. And then I hung up. And then later on, it came to me that her name was Beth. And so I think what had gotten me in actually was that I sent a thank you note through the Disney College Program website for taking time to interview me. And I keyed in one important thing that I remembered is that she was training another cast member to do interviews. And I remember her stating that at the beginning that someone else was going to be listening in. And so I wrote that in my thank you note. And then literally 4 days later, I was accepted. So I think it was crazy.
My, my interview wasn't as cool as yours, where you literally got it at 2 a.m. But I've known about the college program since I started high school, and my mom told me about when you did it. So that got me even more interested in how your process was. And mine was sprung out in about like a month or so. I applied in, I think, either September or August. And then it took like a month for me to not a month for me to get notified for my first web-based, but it was just a month process for me being nervous, wondering if I'm going to get in. And it wasn't a bad process at all. It took me about 4 or 5 days to get a web-based interview, and it took me about a week to get a phone interview, and then 2 weeks to get just accepted into the program. And they really do ask basic questions. Like one of my questions was, would I be comfortable, like, how would you feel about working with international students and like how their cultures are different and everything like that. And it was a really nice interview. And they're when you're in their interview, they're looking for something, like they're looking for specific things. Are you willing to do lifeguarding? Are you willing to work a roller coaster? So when you're in your interview, they're going to ask you about what they really need, and they'll obviously take like what you would like to do. You want to be, I don't know, maybe a character, like that's where your mindset was at. But they're really nice people. You definitely remember their name. I went above and beyond because I was a freshman, and I would like to say that they accept more older people knowing what they want to do in life and giving them more of an opportunity. And I pretty much wanted to up my game and be more prepared for something like this, because I wanted to get on my first try. And I had a whole board of questions and things like that, so I don't know how I would freak out in an interview. And yeah, and I wrote down her name, and I also sent a thank you letter because it was really nice. I love hearing from cast members, so it was really nice to hear from Disney again. But it's not a really stressful thing. It is in the moment, but when I look back at it, I was like, there's nothing to really be stressed about. And like Elena said, when it's your time to work for this company, and and that I really do mean that. Like it's when you need to be there, and it's what they need. So for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, my phone interview, as we three know, never happened. But I think it's a good thing that you said about that, it'll happen when it happens. And I also, Elena, I like that you told your story in that way, because I, kind of like Sean, I knew about it in high school and I had researched it all this time. I had everything ready. I didn't even get past the first step, and you stumbled on it at 2 a.m. and got through clean and easy. But I think that's a very fair thing, because I don't think you should be punished for wanting to do something for a lesser amount of time, because it doesn't mean you don't want to do it as much. It just means you didn't know about it in the same projection of time that I did. And I think it's good that, you don't have to know all these tips and tricks. You don't have to know which word to say where to get through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think people get hung up on that a lot of times. I have to say the right thing. I have to act a certain way. Disney's not looking for like a utopia, right? Like where everything's the same. Everyone is going to act the exact same. Different personalities, different backgrounds, and different experiences is what has made this company successful. And I think that we all contribute to that in every way.
Yeah.
And something else big that I totally forgot to mention, you do not have to be gone to Disney 20 times to be able to do this college program. You can like not be at all. Never been to Disney World at all. And
I've never been.
Yeah, Elena's never been, and she got in. And I've been fortunate to go plenty of times. And Andrew, I think you've been once or twice, right?
Twice. I went my senior trip. So the first time I went was my senior year in high school, first and second. One was in April and one was in August.
There you go.
Yeah,
so I mean,
don't worry. I've built up my experience now. I think I went every day.
Me too. So you can come from different backgrounds. You don't have to be the biggest Disney lover at all. You don't have to be never been to Disney World before. You can get in no matter where you come from. The money you have to be able to do things like spend a trip at Disney. It does not matter. They will treat you like everybody else and see if you're a fit for their company. So, and do you want to guys talk about like tips that maybe like helped you all out during like things that you saw, like YouTubers and things like that?
Yeah, I can start with that. Again, I guess you can take my advice with a grain of salt since I haven't made it past yet. But no, I would say with anything anyone says about this, always take it with a grain of salt. Just because they got in and I didn't, or vice versa, doesn't mean I'm right, doesn't mean they're wrong, doesn't mean they're right, doesn't mean I'm wrong. It's going to be different for everyone, as we've kind of talked about already. For me, yeah, so YouTubers, that was the biggest thing. A teacher, my theater teacher, Miss Card, had brought it up one day because she's a big Disney fanatic. Like she auditioned one time to be Tinkerbell, and she got through to like the last
friends with
part.
Tinkerbell, right?
Do what?
She wanted to be friends with Tinkerbell.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I didn't know. I might have misheard. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So she auditioned to be friends with Tinkerbell, and she honestly auditioned just kind of on a whim. Like she was a teacher. She wasn't going to just leave, but she got really close. So from there on, she's like, I wish I would have done this. So she would tell all of her students about it every semester. And after that, I had went on YouTube and I had went on Google, and I was finding everything I could. Me and Sean have talked about this, but we ended up finding YouTubers, which doesn't, I guess now in the age, it makes sense, like a reliable source, people who, not only document their time there, but their time before and after to kind of show how they did it, how they went through it. So one YouTuber I watched the most in that time, her name was Emily Enchanted. I'll save that story for the end, or not the end, but later. But yeah, so I had started watching her, and she had done, I'm going to apply, watch me do this. So you would see her phone interview, like not all of it, but you would see her like talk about it. And then she would say she got in. And then every day for the first week she was there, she would record what was going on. She would talk about her job a lot. I think at one point she was uploading like every 3 times a week or something.
Yeah.
But another resource that she actually told me, or told the world, and I happened to hear, was the Facebook group that they make every semester for this, which, fun fact, is actually how I met Sean, which is weird because we go to the same school and we're in the same program now. But I didn't know.
That. I love that.
Yeah.
So see, even though, your program didn't even get to start, you met Sean and now you guys are friends. So there's always a little magic there somewhere.
Yeah, we had found out that Sean was actually one of my friend's tour guides on his Western tour, and I just happened to go with him so he wasn't alone with his mom. And I was like, were you the guy who gave me a tour the other day? And he said, I think so. And then we started talking after that. But yeah, that's very helpful because, again, no one person, except for the people who it's their job to do it, is ever going to be 100% right or wrong. But a lot of people who have already done it are in those groups, and they can be like, oh, well, I like what you wrote about this in your, part of your application, or maybe change it to this, or I like how you describe this, because a lot of times people ask for edits and to see, would you accept it? How would you feel about this? And I think that's really helpful to kind of have a community resource as well.
Yeah. Elena, would you like to say some tips that you might have?
Yeah, I would utilize the networking that basically Disney Community has created for you on those Facebook and Twitter groups. I know Recruiter Christy and me were in contact, which she's super big on, accepting these students. And no, my tweets to her were not going to slide the scale if I got in or not, but it definitely had me in communication with someone that had a lot of information. So if I had any questions, I was able to reach out to her. Also, the Disney Facebook groups are filled with college students just like us that want to be helpful and want to make sure that everyone can get in and do the college program. So finding and being careful what information you're sending out to these people, because at the end of the day, you don't know them. But sending out your resume, and before you apply, just kind of like, what keywords did you guys use? Or, just having conversation, I think is super important. I'm big on networking, obviously, as a marketing major as well. So network to everyone.
Definitely. And something that I'll say again with what Andrew said, the Facebook group is a great way to find people. That's where I met my friend group, was on the Facebook group, and that's how I made friends during my program. And that's literally how I met Andrew. Is I didn't even know he went to Western, and then he was like, "Oh, I'll go to Western." I was like, "That's awesome." And then I have a friend at Western that has a love for Disney. It's great finding the Facebook group. You meet plenty of other Disney fans. They'll help you. Like I helped one of my friends that got in before she had her phone interview. I told her, this and this is what I did, and I think this will help you. And that's literally how we became friends in Florida. And YouTube was a big help. I watched people's phone interview tips, web-based interview tips. I watched Emily Enchanted as well. There's Once Upon a Braun that helped me out.
Yeah, I loved her. She's good.
They were really good people to help you out with your phone interviews. And Emily Enchanted now works at, I think, Radio Disney, like as a vlogger, I'm pretty sure now. So obviously these people have done these programs once or twice, and that they're, going on and with their work experience and doing bigger things past the college program. So I think it's a good opportunity. And some other things that might help is, you said the Twitter page. You could follow Recruiter Christy, and then there's the official Disney page on Google. I'm pretty sure it's just Disney College Program. And then there is Instagram pages that they post like videos of people starting their college program, telling them their experiences and things like that. And they'll let you know when applications are starting and keep you updated and everything like that. Would you guys like to? Would you like to do roles? I know Andrew, you you can't do much with that, but would you like to start with like what we did during our college program, Elena?
Yeah, and Andrew, I would love to know what your dream role would have been.
Yeah, there we
Because
go.
it can still be a dream role because you never know what the future holds.
It's true.
But my role was in merchandise on Hollywood Studios, Sunset Boulevard. I got to stare at the Tower of Terror every single day, morning and night. I loved merchandise, and I knew immediately that was the role that I wanted to be in because that was the center of everything. You were going to see millions of people. I literally met probably millions of people. And I also was able to be on the opening team of Legends of Hollywood, which is a shop on Sunset Boulevard. And I literally created the best friendships there. Like, I could not even begin to explain the people I still keep in touch with, from coordinators, leaders, to other cast members. It's been an amazing journey. I was supposed to, I think, I guess I can talk about, I can talk about this. I was supposed to go and open Galaxy's Edge, but I came to one of my leaders and said, I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to stay on Sunset. And he was like, yeah, we're not sending you over there. He's like, we need you here. So it was great to feel appreciated. They wanted to keep me. And I was just a college kid. Like, what have I proved in 3-4 months being here? Well, apparently enough to open up a new store. So that was a great, great time. So that was my role.
I was about to bring that up because I remember when my mom told me about that, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So my mom was like saying, they offered Elena to open up the newest section of the park, and I was like, that's crazy. Like for the 3 or 4 months you were working there, you were already about to open up a brand new section of a park, which is pretty big for most people.
Yeah, I mean, everyone wanted to do that. And there was obviously people that applied to work in Galaxy's Edge. And that was a very tough decision process. Who can work there, who, won't. And they were just sending college program students. They were not really asking them. But I just happened to, ask my leader, like, am I going to be on this list to go? I don't know if I want to go. And he's like, well, you were, but then you weren't. It was like one of those things. So it was really cool to like almost have a decision.
So I guess I'll go next, and then Andrew can talk about his dream role.
Yeah.
So I like to say before I go about my role, I did not complete my college. Well, I completed my college program. I was working during COVID, before COVID started, so I only got to do two months of my college program out of the 6 months. I'm pretty sure you do your program.
Mm-hmm.
My role was recreation attractions, where I was supposed to be stationed at a water park called Typhoon Lagoon and work water slides, but my water park was being renovated by the time, so they made me work at Slinky Dog Dash and Toy Story Land, and that was a lot of fun. And something I forgot to mention about your application process, I used to work at Chick-fil-A, and they asked how would I want to work in food, and I told them that'd be fine, but if I'd love to learn something new, and Elena's worked in merchandise before, so they will obviously work with you if they have a fit or a spot for you. So I forgot to mention that. But
Yeah,
I worked
sure.
at a roller coaster, and it was a great time. I met so many cool friends, and one of my friends was a character performer, or friends with Jesse at Toy Story Land. So it was always cool to see. I met so many friends there, people I didn't even actually work with, and it was just a great time. You meet celebrities sometimes. I met Michael Jordan during my experience at Slinky Dog Dash. So it's a cool opportunity to do things like that. But I unfortunately didn't get to do the position I was selected to do because COVID closed all the parks before I was able to do my design role. But it was a great experience, and I honestly would do it again. For the 2 months that I would work there, I would highly recommend doing it, even though I didn't even get to complete my full college experience. So, Andrew, would you like to talk about your dream role?
Yeah, sure. I'm glad you brought up opening Galaxy's Edge because my cousin actually got to open Galaxy's Edge. I don't know. No, I was going to say you may know her, but I'll tell you the name afterwards. But she got a full-time job over there. She was usually in the Christmas store, Magic Kingdom, but she got moved over to Galaxy's Edge full-time.
I feel like I know who you're talking about. Lindsay?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
See how crazy this process is.
I So I don't know her, but I know, of her, and like we went to school, but yeah, she is rocking it down there.
Yeah. And also, for anyone watching, I've never met this girl in my life. Like, who I'm talking.
Oh yeah,
never talked.
Yeah, this is crazy. Wow.
But yeah, so my cousin Lindsay now that it's out there, she got to open Galaxy's Edge, and that was really cool because she, I don't know the correct term for what she does, but she is in one of the merchandise locations where you can build a lightsaber, which is
Savvy's workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah, Savvy's workshop.
Oh, sorry. Savvy's
she is
workshop.
certified in all things lightsabers.
Yeah.
I think against the resistance, right? Is that what we're doing?
If you go on YouTube, okay, we were talking about YouTubers earlier. There's this YouTuber I know Sean loves because he met him, the Tim Tracker.
Yes.
But if you go to his video where he builds a lightsaber, she's actually in the video. Like she's the one helping with it.
I saw that video.
Yeah, so back to my roles. I was just shout out Lindsay if you're watching this. Doubt you are.
Shout out Lindsay.
Yeah. Yeah, so kind of like you, Elena, I really wanted to do merchandise. I've worked concession stands at both Liberty University and Virginia Tech while football games, and I've done a lot of stuff in North Carolina selling like Christmas trees during this time of year. I mean, not this year, but usually. So that's something I really like. And attractions I really wanted as well, still want, because I don't know, you get merchandise, you'll get to meet a lot of people, but attractions, depending on where you're at, you get to be in that character still. Like you still get to meet all these people, but it's a matter of, do you want to be more of yourself or more of a character? And I don't think either one's a wrong answer. But a character performer / friends with one of the characters, that would be the goal. I did theater all through middle school and high school. I took dance as a kid. So that would be real cool, but I've not auditioned and do not see it in my imminent future, but you never know.
I will expand on that. Just in case, if you don't know what we mean by being friends with a character, that just means that we don't, at Disney, you don't say, I am Pluto, because you don't want to ruin that magic for some of the kids or that family that's working there. So you say like, I am friends with this character.
Right.
And one of my friends was friends with Jesse. And so I actually I wanted to be a character performer, just try that, experience everything that the college program was offering. And I flew out to Georgia where they were having auditions at the time. And I actually met my roommate there while doing this whole experience. And we were auditioning we were the same height. So we knew that some of the characters that might be like in our range, because characters are dependent on height. You can't be Stitch and be, 6'7", because Stitch is just isn't a tall character from the movies.
Stitch is his own, right?
We wanted to, we had the idea. Yeah. So we wanted to be, we both love Pluto, and we were hoping that Pluto was, something that we might be able to do. And it was a fun experience. I met actually people that didn't even make it into the college program or make it into being a character during auditions. So even if you don't meet them Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you still meet plenty of people during these experiences. So I met my roommate auditioning to be Pluto. So it's a lot of fun. There's more opportunities than just, applying to work and, a roller coaster and working in merchandise. And they just have so many more jobs to expand on. We're just talking about the ones that we have personally experienced or the ones that we have dreamed of doing. So, yeah.
I think with what you said, Sean, too, that's really important of you don't have to be in yet to audition. As long as you've applied and you haven't been rejected yet, I believe, you can still attend an audition. Even if you get rejected while you're there, you can still be there.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. If you have the chance to do it and, you love Disney and you don't really mind taking a flight, depending on where you are, of course, it's a great opportunity just to still experience what Disney's offering, what we like to call behind the magic, just experience the things that, you wouldn't be able to experience as a guest walking in the park. So, yeah. Would you like to talk about like maybe not like housing, just like the minor things that don't relate to like the job, like benefits and things like that?
Yeah. So I lived in Vista Way. That was a very interesting complex. I had about like 5 different roommate changes. That was also a thing. Just because everyone who comes to Disney, comes to Disney not solely for wanting to work for the company. Not everyone has the best intentions. So that's that. But Vista Way was super fun. I met a lot of friends there. I never had a parking spot because
Definitely not.
no parking spots were available unless you were, especially if you're coming home at like midnight or 1 a.m. from work.
Yes.
And you're like circling the whole building. You're like, I can't, I don't know what to do. But I loved living in Vista because it was so close to all of the like shopping centers, and like there was a Walmart down the street and then a Wendy's you could walk to, and it was super close to all of the parks, which is super vital to like wanting to go. And it wasn't too far from the other complexes. So that was a good time. Rent was cheap. You had laundry in like the basement, I guess you would call it, in the hallway. Yeah. That half the time didn't work, but you're here for the experience, not for the amenities. So yeah, I loved it.
I also stayed at Vista Way too, and it was fun. Speaking of like when I did my application process, when I was interviewed, they asked me, how would I feel working or have been roomed with people with like different cultures. And my roommates, before some of them left, I had one from, I'm pretty sure, Spain, and then two from South Africa. So it was definitely like wide ranging. They were doing their culinary and I don't know what the term is for like their college experience. I know it's like, I think it's international college program.
ICP, I believe.
Yeah. ICP. Mm-hmm. So they were doing like their year-long program. And so you don't pick your roommates. You can pick like the roommate that you like one roommate, but then the rest are like just up to you. Not up to you. They're up to Disney, and it was really fun. Vista Way was an interesting complex. Yeah. They have 3 other complexes, but now they're not doing those anymore due to, I don't know how to explain it. Just money.
Yeah, I think it's time to phase this out and phase some new complexes in.
So they're making the complexes not like inside the Walt Disney World. I'm going to call it a city, more like just more closer to
Disney
like the
property.
Parks. Yeah, mm-hmm. Disney property. So they're now just doing one apartment complex where when they open up the college program again, they'll have everybody in all in one place. But yeah, it was really great. All the complexes were close together at the time. And you did have like your amenities. You had a gas station like right out the gate. You had Wendy's, Chick-fil-A that you can literally just walk to, Walmart, and yeah, that was basically some of the benefits of like living there. You also had benefits like I had like a discounted Universal pass because I was a college program student, and I wasn't able to do this, but you do get complimentary tickets for that, how many hours you work. Is that right?
150 hours, I believe. You get 3 tickets. Yeah. And they give you like a holiday package if you do the Advantage program in the fall.
Definitely. So you get you can obviously bring your friends if you wanted to, if you want to give them if you want to be generous enough to give them your tickets, and you also get to go into any park you like without it being blocked off due to like new things and everything like that. But you do get to go into the parks for free on your off days, or if you want to go on your work days as well, of course you can do that. Yeah, but
morning before a 12-hour shift.
Definitely. But yeah, that was the benefits. You do international, you have everybody coming around the world to do this program. You have all these benefits that are really nice and definitely can't get anywhere else working with this internship. So I think that about covered most of it. Is there anything else we would like to say about it? I don't think I'm forgetting anything.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but with the housing changes, that was already in the plan, at least to what I know.
Yes.
That's not a COVID thing.
No,
not affected by COVID. One thing in the world that's not affected by COVID.
Yeah,
Disney housing.
The only, yes.
Only. Do you think that's everything? We mentioned application, we mentioned our roles, we mentioned the tips, we mentioned housing and benefits. Is there anything else? I can't really think of anything that might be different.
I don't know. I would just say as like a final tip, apply. You will not lose a single thing by applying. And I think it's a great opportunity for anyone to have on their resume, to meet people from all over the world. Disney is a great company to work for, no matter what aspect you are in. And I just recommend going for it.
Definitely.
Yeah. And also, I had to learn this the hard way, but don't be afraid of rejection in that matter, because looking at it logistically, out of, what did you say, 30,000, I think it has like a 9% acceptance rate or some absurd low number like that. The odds are not directly in your favor looking at logistics. So if you're expecting to go in and get it immediately, of course you want that fire and you want to be able to go like that, but don't get it to the point where you're hurt when that doesn't happen, because it will suck. But like they said, you'll get your time. And also, don't be afraid to network, like Elena said. In one of the first Facebook group I joined, one of the guys, he asked, hey, any guys applying want to make a group chat just to talk about stuff, and I ended up putting my name in it, and we had this entire group chat of 20 some guys, I think, on Snapchat, and we ended up coming up with a name for ourselves that's not appropriate for me to say on this. But we had talked about all these different plans if we were to get in and if we weren't. And it was so cool. And also, it's not bad to meet people ahead of time, even if you don't make it in. I met someone who ended up, we were talking oh, if we both get in, we should do this. And then she got in and I didn't, which, sucked for her because I wasn't there to make that plan a reality. And it sucked for me because I didn't get to go. But, we're still friends. We still talk every now and then. And I've met other people who still haven't made it yet either. So every time it opens up, it's good to be like, hey, I'm applying today. How have you been? Are you? And just be able to catch up. So when you do get there eventually, you'll already have this entire people support system.
100%. And, don't think also that you have to have all of this experience to be even looked at by Disney. I know a lot of people that have had no job prior to this internship and thrived. So just because, I might have some more experience than someone else, or someone else might have more than me, they do look at your experience and they want to know that you are able to have certain levels of competencies, but it's not the only thing they look at. So apply, just apply.
And something I'll say is, again, with Andrew, don't be afraid to be rejected. I was literally terrified because this is somewhere I've wanted to work for a long time. And I knew the odds weren't in my favor, especially for being a freshman. Just, having people with more job experience, more college students that are they know what they want to do in life. And it was terrifying to be, the kid that's just applying for the first time. And you can literally get in at any time. With that being said, it will come, your time will definitely come when it needs to. And one thing that I did forget to mention, do you guys want to talk about what your plans are for the future? Like I know we want to do the college program and things like that, but did you want to talk about your dream job that maybe it's not with Disney, but it's something that the Disney resume would help in the future? Did you want to talk about that, Elena and Andrew?
Yeah. So I'm pretty much open to anything, going out of my undergrad degree. So I did the college program last year, and there's also a thing called professional internships, which is basically you sitting in an office job, working with Disney, working with analytics and numbers and more backstage Disney, which I am super interested in. I would love to do a PR role with that. They definitely look for more experience, and this is more for professional job searches. So you definitely want to make sure you have a polished resume, a good track record with work and everything, but it is still attainable. And I'm hoping to, maybe fingers crossed, in a year or two, apply for that PI. And it's important because I've kept my networking with my leaders and coordinators to be able to use them almost as a reference to apply for a PI. So I would love to do a professional internship and maybe stay full-time with the company. But if not, I know that this experience will take me elsewhere, because you say Disney and everyone lights up.
Definitely.
I don't know if anyone that will be watching this is, planning to do anything in the theater, dance, or performing art realm of any sort. But I told you my theater directors who, introduced this to me, she ended up leaving, and someone else from my county ended up coming in to be our new theater director. And at the top of her resume was something she did with Disney about 2 years ago now. But when you see anything Disney in your head, you're like, oh, okay, so this is a brand everyone knows. People looking for jobs do the same thing. If you can be trusted by one of the largest and, most influential, that's the word, companies in the world, and you were proven to be a success, then I think that gives you some really good mantra going into whatever you want to do next. Me personally, I've always wanted to go into teaching. Right now it's history and political science are what I'm going for, hopefully. And yeah, I think doing the DCP, it's still on the plans of things I want to do. It's still an experience, like we talked about with networking. Even if I never do anything else with Disney again, I'm going to meet people, and I'm going to meet people who know people, and they know me. And I've done a lot of camps and different programs growing up, and that's really helped. Just now talking to Elena, just the fact that we both knew the Disney college program, we know the same person who at least know of the same person. But yeah, so that's definitely still in the plans. And I think it would be cool to do like a professional internship, but that's not something I'm like, I would probably apply for it. And if I didn't get it, that would be that. I don't think I would be as going for it. So I could go ahead and get started in teaching and whatnot.
Definitely. And with me, I've always wanted to work for Disney World. It's never been anything else. It's just been working with Disney, and Western doesn't offer it right now, but I am a hospitality theme park. Like, that's where I want to head into. So like Andrew, I don't know if they have anything maybe teaching related at Disney. They might, but even if you have like a degree, you want to go work at, I don't know, you want to go work at Nike, or you want to go work somewhere else, like, it doesn't have to be anything related to Disney. You can work in this program with any type of, job, like any type of plan you want to have in the future. It doesn't matter. Disney will accept you if you're meant to work for this company, and they will. And it does look great for your resume, working with literally one of the biggest companies in the world. That shows that, this company accepted you because they saw something special in you. So yeah, it's definitely a great opportunity. And if you were interested, I definitely suggest you try it out. Obviously right now it's not open right now, but in the future you can maybe look back at this video, look back at a couple of YouTubers and their experiences with the college program. I'm 100% sure their tips will still be useful. I don't think anything extravagant is going to change with the whole college program process, but I think that this will be a good opportunity just for like anyone in general that wants to maybe take a little break off of college and get a feel of like what, it is living on your own if you haven't had that experience, or just getting a feel for a big company. That's something that it's just a great opportunity. Is there anything else you would like to say before we end the video?
If you guys, whoever's watching this, needs tips or advice, or if you would like me to look over your resume or your application or those keywords that everyone always talks about, my inbox is always free. I can give you my email. It's last name Topalovic, so YTOPALOVIC @radford.edu. Send me a message. I'll get back to you. I want to help you get on your path to Disney. So whatever I can do to help, I'm here for you.
Yeah. With that being said, with tips, this is the last thing. We also at our college program, at Virginia Western, we offer the Career Center, which was something that was very helpful for me. I don't know why I didn't say this earlier, but I had Kathy Ferguson help me out with my entire resume in this entire process. I just had a basic resume, just stating things and just saying my experiences with my jobs, and then she made it more of a professional paper, to use, I guess you can say, more professional words to say what I was doing, and it helped out a lot. And when I was doing my phone interview, she gave me my own office to be able to be away from any other college student on campus, and like she set up the whole office with like Disney photos and like quotes and things that would like make me feel more comfortable with being on the phone and everything, which was kind of a scary process in the moment. So definitely use the Career Center if if this is something like you really want to do and get a jump over some colleges don't offer that. So you might get a jump using Kathy in the Career Center. So I definitely recommend doing that as well.
Yes, love the Career Center.
Definitely love the Career Center.
I know before COVID hit, you could apply for the Disney College program, I believe a year after completing your highest education.
Yes.
But now, I remember when COVID had first started and the first wave of people got sent home, they said they were going to extend that a little more. So I don't know when it'll come back, and I don't know what the rules will be, because I know they can't go too far, like, college in the past 5 years, but they could do something around, like, if you were in college when this happened and you could be eligible for the next cycle. And other than that, maybe out after that, you kind of get left out. I don't know, but I think they're going to be willing to work, because once everyone's able to go out and do things again, I think there will be a surge in people wanting to do things and not be in their homes. And I think that'll be really, they'll be ready to hire, and you'll be just as ready as you will be to go. So
definitely. Is there anything else? I think I have everything off the table now that I mentioned the Career Center. Is there anything else we would like to say that might help out any people watching with the college program?
I think that's all I have right now.
Oh, and I mean, and with Elena saying like her email, I do a podcast. I forgot to mention, I do a podcast with a group of my friends, and it's called DCP Royal 5. And you can find us on Instagram, and you can find us on, I believe it's called Anchor, for like podcasts and things like that. And we talked about, and if obviously we didn't get every role down, but some of my friends, did food service. One was a lifeguard. So if you guys want to know more information about that, we'll get my email down on the DCP college video page, and we'll get everybody's information on there so we can communicate and help you out in any way possible.
Yes. Oh my God. I want to be a special guest on this podcast.
We got to do it now.
Yes, we have to do it. I'm so down.
Sean, I had no idea you had a podcast.
Yeah.
What? This is so exciting.
I'm trying to look it up on Google. It's not coming up.
Yeah.
We'll do that later.
Well,
we'll do it later.
You think does that cover everything? Yeah, we'll do it in a minute. Does that cover everything? I think we're done now.
Any more
Yes.
everything? Anyone else doing any podcasts?
I have my blog, elenatalks.wordpress.com. I'm talking all things Disney College program.
There you go. See, Andrew, you got anything special?
Shameless plug.
No, I sure don't. I had to think about that. I don't think I do anything that interesting for everyone. I don't know. Catch me on PlayStation Network. I can give you my Switch code.
There you go.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. Steam, if you got that, I got that.
There you go.
John, I don't think I've added you. Okay, we can talk about that later, but I don't think
it's fine. All right. Well, that being said, thank you all for having us, and I hope that our tips for the Disney College program were helpful. And thank you, Elena and Andrew, for helping expand on this a lot, because I obviously could not have done this by myself with my 2 months of work. All right.
Thank you for having me. We'll see you guys real soon.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.